Few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, we are live, and it's been a few weeks since I have been here on the air doing TV Skywriter. I want to welcome all of you to the show. TV Skywriter is where I talk to just interesting people, entrepreneurs, artists, musicians, and today we've got a young scientist on the show. We have Daniel Rand. He is a student, a rising senior at the North Carolina School of Science and Math. I used to work there when I first moved to Durham. And he's going to tell us about his very exciting participation in the International BioGenius Challenge. Um, we're saying the word gene, that's very important in this case. Welcome to the show, Daniel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Very happy to have you. Now, before we really start, if you don't mind, because I do have viewers outside of Durham, if you could tell us a little bit about the North Carolina School of Science and Math.
Sure. So the North Carolina School of Science and Math, or NCSSM for short, is a public boarding residential school for high school juniors and seniors from all across North Carolina. So basically, a sophomore year, you would take the SAT, write a few essays, get some teacher X. It's kind of like applying for college, and then send it to the school, and they'll review the applications and pick people from all across the state to come live together this school in Durham for 2 years. And I think it's a really great experience because one, you get to meet so many people from across the state, and two, there's just so many more opportunities at NCSSM, both academically and socially, that I didn't have in my old school.
How about that? So you are not from Durham then. What city are you from?
All right, I'm from Cary.
Oh, awesome. Okay, right
Yeah.
next door.
Yeah, so not too far.
Okay. Have you met students did it come from as far away as the mountains?
From where?
Like Asheville, that far away?
Oh yeah, so one of the things about NCSSM, since it's a publicly funded school, they're required to take 25 to 35 students from each congressional district. So there's people like from the Outer Banks, people from the mountains, people from everywhere.
That's really exciting. You like it? You like it?
Yeah, I love it.
Wow. Now, I did used to work there, and a couple of the students said that they loved it, but it was kind of hard being away from home. And these, of course, were students who were from, you're within driving distance, almost walking distance from home. But some of the students said that they got a little homesick, because that is pretty young to be away from home, actually. They're not quite in college yet. But I'm glad you're having a good time there. Now tell us about your research. Now, I was told that you were participating out in California in an event called the International BioGenius Challenge. What's that all about?
Sure. So the International BioGenius Challenge, it's basically a big biotechnology competition for students doing biology research with some type of biotech application. And so there's a bunch of regional competitions before the international level, and they take 14 students from the United States, one from Canada, and then all 15 of us go to this convention center in San Diego. And it's actually, the competition's held in conjunction with the 2014 Bio Convention, which is, it's this really big biotech convention for a bunch of businesses and companies. And so while we're competing at the convention center, there's this much larger convention going on with 15,000 people, all related to biotechnology. So it's really cool how we're kind of in the midst of this huge convention and how everything's kind of interrelated with each other.
Wonderful. Did you get to attend some of the activities at the other conference as well?
Yeah, we did. So we were there for 4 days, Sunday through Wednesday. Sunday was just kind of getting to meet everyone, getting acquainted with the place. Monday was the actual competition. We had, I think, 6 hours of judging or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Tuesday was awards, some more activities, and then Wednesday we were free to explore the convention center.
Okay. Now, I didn't know that it was an actual competition. I thought you were maybe presenting projects, but what were you
Mhm.
competing? What was the nature of the competition?
So the competition is judged based on a couple of different things. There's one thing is like how, I guess, how good your research methods are. Another thing they're judging is the creativity of your project, and how independent and like basically how independent and creative it was. And the third point is how relevant it is to biotechnology. And
Mm.
so, based on these three criteria, uh, all the students are competing for four top prizes, and the top first place is $7,500. Second place is 5,000. Third
Okay.
place is 2,500, and fourth place is 1,000.
Awesome. Does the
Mm-hmm.
student make the money or the school? Sometimes I hear about these competitions. The school often
Yeah.
gets the money. But,
So for this, the student actually gets the money.
oh,
It's a cash prize.
okay. Now, what was the nature of your research? What area were you researching?
So I did my research at Duke University, and I was in the biology department doing neurobiology research.
Hmm.
So my research was particularly focusing on this one disease called autosomal dominant hereditary spastic paraplegia, or in short, ADHSP.
Okay.
And this
And
disease,
what is that exactly?
right? So ADHSP is a neurodegenerative disorder um, that's inherited genetically and is caused by mutations in this gene known as spastin. Um, and so spastin normally it serves to promote synapse growth, and synapses are just the connections between neurons and other cells.
Okay.
So normally that's what spastin does. But when it's mutated, spastin can't perform these functions, and as a result, what happens is you have impaired synapse development. And for the person with the disease,
Mhm.
it causes muscle weakness in the lower limbs and can even lead to paralysis in severe
Wow.
cases.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does this disease or condition occur often, or is this very rare disease?
hmm So it's actually a pretty rare disease. There are about 3 to 6 cases per 100,000 people. So
Okay.
it's not that common. But the reason I wanted to research this disease is that because currently there's no treatment or cure for this disease.
Hmm.
So it's a really debilitating disease for the people who do have it.
Mhm.
So I wanted to see if I could potentially do some research working towards finding a therapeutic cure for this disease.
In finding a cure, or at least a way to treat it, do you think it could
Right.
also help in the treatment of other related diseases?
It's possible, although while since this disease is caused by such a specific genetic mutation,
Hmm.
um, it's likely that a lot of therapeutic treatments would be just specific for this disease. But however, learning more about this disease could also tell us more about other neurodegenerative disorders as well.
Okay. Now, how did you conduct this research?
So for my research, I actually used fruit flies as a model organism,
Oh.
and the reason I used fruit flies is because spastin is it's an evolutionarily conserved gene, which means that the same gene in fruit flies also exists in humans.
Hmm.
Um, so we can use these fruit flies to kind of model how the disease behaves in humans.
Okay. Now, how
And
did you deal with studying something so tiny then?
mhm. So it's actually kind of funny story, but I had to raise these flies, get them with the right genetic mutations,
Hmm.
and I dissected the fly larvae so that I could inspect their synapses.
Okay.
And it's kind of hard to see, but each fly larvae is maybe about this big, maybe like a quarter of a grain of rice.
Good
They're pretty
grief.
small, so you'd have to put them under dissection microscope, zoom in a lot, and then use these
What is a
really.
dissection microscope? I've never seen anything like that.
They're like um, it's kind of like a regular light microscope,
Yeah.
except the lens is a lot bigger. And then instead of having like a tray at the bottom where you put the slide.
Sure.
There's like this wide platform where you can put the samples to dissect, and
Mhm.
so the microscope, you can decide how much you want to zoom, and then just zoom in on whichever area of the sample that you're cutting.
Wow, that's amazing.
hmm
So, were you guided in this research, or were you on your own, or working with a bunch of professors?
hmm So I was working under the mentorship of Dr. Nina Sherwood. She's a professor at Duke University. So she is the one who kind of like gave me this project and guided me in the beginning.
Mhm.
And there was someone else in the lab, Dr. Emily Ozdowski. She's a research associate, and she's the one who taught me most of the methods and procedures for my work. But then after that, it was pretty much an independent project.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, your schooling at at NCSSM, did that
hmm
prepare you for this, or was this a huge leap over what you have ever done before at the School of Science and Math?
So I actually did this research before coming to the School of Science and Math.
Oh,
I did it, yeah, I did it this summer after my sophomore year,
okay.
um, and then went to the School of Science and Math my junior year. But I think it's research is like it's really different from a lot of classes anywhere. It's just such a totally new, different experience. Basically, like you're there in the lab doing something that's never been done before, and
Cool.
for me, that's what makes it a lot more exciting than just a regular classroom course.
I have a feeling this is going to really look good on your resume, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
What are your future plans after high school?
Well, I'm planning on applying to college next year.
Mhm.
Um, my top two schools right now are Harvard and Yale, but
Mhm.
I'm not 100% sure where I want to go yet.
And then after that, what are you planning?
And then after that, I think I'm going to go to med school. No idea where yet, but think I want to do something with either clinical practices or medical research in the future.
That's really cool. That is really cool. This is
hmm
going to really prepare you, I think.
Yeah, I think
That's very
so.
exciting. So you said you were doing some research this summer as well, right?
hmm Correct.
Related to your study with the little larvae or something totally different?
It's actually something completely different.
Hmm.
I'm working at Duke Medical School this summer. I'm a different professor, different project, and I'm actually doing immunology research this summer.
Mm. How did you choose that?
I
Or
just
what,
so
or did someone choose it for you?
I so I took an immunology class at school, um, the third trimester, and I just after taking that class, I realized I really liked immunology, and so I wanted to do something relating to immunology research over the summer.
Mhm.
And so I had a friend. He graduated from NCSSM a few years ago. He's at Harvard now,
Mhm.
and he worked for this professor at Duke Medical School. He said he really enjoyed it. Loved the experience, and he recommended me to talk to this professor, see if I could find an internship with him. And so I looked up his research online, read through some of his papers, and it turned out he was actually doing immunology research. So I was like, wow, this is perfect.
I
Um,
love that.
and so we actually have, we also have this research class at school that I'm enrolled in. It's called
Mhm.
Research in Chemistry. And turns out that my research and chemistry teacher also knew this professor at Duke Medical School. So
Sounds
uh, I,
perfect.
yeah, so things just lined up perfectly. And so I sent him an email, attached my resume, just told him a little bit about myself, asked if I could work in his lab, and then my teacher also sent him some information about me. So that's how I found the internship.
That's awesome. That is really cool.
hmm
Now, Daniel, I couldn't help but notice musical notes over your left shoulder. And I'm
hmm
wondering if you're into music too. Because I
hmm
heard somewhere that math, science, and music somehow all go along together.
hmm
I was wondering about that.
Sure. So yeah, I'm definitely into music as well. I play the trombone. and I started playing the trombone in 4th grade. So I've been playing for about 9 years now, and I would say besides research, trombone is probably the biggest thing in my life right now, the biggest activity besides research. And I don't know, I really enjoy it because it's something different. It's like, you can't just do academics, research all day. It's something that lets me um, relieve stress after doing a bunch of homework, just play some notes, and it's nice, I guess.
Cool. Did you see this video? Now, I know you have heard of the song Happy by Pharrell. Okay.
Yep.
Some guy who plays trombone did a really cool video where he used technology to overdub parts, and he did all the parts with just a trombone. And I'm wondering if you've seen it.
Dang.
It's remarkable.
No, I don't think I've seen that, but it sounds really cool.
I'll send you the link. Now, what creative things now you told me that you play classical trombone,
Right.
but I'm wondering what when it comes to classical music and trombone, which can only play one note at a time, musically speaking, what do you get out of it? I know you were saying about relieving stress, but I'm just wondering about the choice of classical and the choice of trombone for you.
So, I guess the reason I decided to play trombone back in elementary school is we had the band director at our elementary school. He had kind of like a show and tell for all the students, and so we all went into the auditorium. He had all these instruments lined up on a table, and he gave us like a quick demonstration of each of the instruments. And when he was playing the trombone, I thought it was amazing how you could just move the slide back and forth and get so many different notes out of it.
Yeah.
So from then I just picked up the trombone, and I've loved it ever since.
So you're going to take it to college with you, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Who knows? You might get into find some musical opportunities wherever you attend college. Because again, they say music and science go along so well together. I don't know why. I guess maybe it operates out of the same area of the brain or something. I don't know. So what other hobbies do you have besides music?
So I play tennis on the school tennis team, and I also do wrestling on the school wrestling team.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else to tell the audience about you? Because you're a very fascinating young man, very accomplished. I think you're gonna have absolutely no problem making it. I think you've chosen a wonderful field as well. So anything else you want to tell us about you or your family?
I mean, both of my parents are computer scientists. They do software engineering, so it's interesting because that's completely different from what I'm interested in. But I mean, they've been supportive.
In what way? In what way? For those of us who aren't that familiar with what you're doing or what your parents are doing.
So I guess, like my parents, their jobs are programming software, which is mostly writing code to like develop different types of software applications.
Okay.
And so a lot of that is more, like computer science, engineering, and what I'm interested in is mainly the fields of biology and chemistry, and particularly with some type of medical application. So it's, it's kind of like.
But to me, not knowing a lot about either field, it sounds to me that you're actually doing related things, and that you're looking at things that work in a certain sequence, right? Certain structure already set up, and that you're being creative and working with it. I mean, it almost sounds like you're doing sort of the same thing, just in different fields.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because there's no way to not follow rules when it comes to how things work, right?
Yeah.
The intricacies, So it sounds like you're doing something sort of similar, but you're just doing it your own way.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, I wish you a whole lot of success, Daniel. I know you're going to meet a lot of success.
Thank you.
And thanks to the person, I forgot to write her name down. I will put her name in the credits of the show, the person who called you to my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And also a shout out, of course, to North Carolina School of Science and Math. I used to work there years ago. And of course, congratulations to your parents for having such a wonderful son.
Thank you.
Okay, Danny, you have a good day.
All right, thanks.
Very
You
happy
too.
to have you on the show. Okay,
Thank
folks,
you.
if you would like to be on TV Skywriter again, I love to talk to just interesting people, young people, old people like myself, artists, musicians, writers, scientists, researchers. Just write to me, Durham Skywriter at gmail.com, and I will see you next Sunday. This will be on YouTube, by the way. All of my shows are on YouTube. You can just type in TV Skywriter on YouTube, and all of my shows should pop up. And with that, see you later, Daniel. See you later,
All right.
audience. Have a great week.
See you later.
Ciao. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.